Alright, so little mini project here. First of all, if you don't know, this is the air cleaner for the Thunderstroke 111. Underneath the ugly, in my opinion, 111 cubic inches, sort of plasticky chrome thing, is some real chrome with a real Indian script underneath it. It's just an outline script, and I've seen some videos of people painting in some of the scripts. I think since the indentation in here is just in the groove, I want to try to paint the entire thing in the middle, not the groove. So my thought is, I've tried various methods of brushing on some Elmer's glue, to barrier this off. But I think what I'm going to try is some painter's tape and pencil and X-Acto knife and see if I can get a trace of that and cut out the scripts. We'll see how it goes. So you can see here, as I've got this tape on here and I'm just rubbing hard, you can see the Indian script starting to show through here. So I think I'm going to be able to just X-Acto knife along the lines and then pull the letters off. Alright, so what I'm doing first, before I cut it out, is I'm just kind of taking a toothpick and tracing it along to get these grooves very well defined. Before I put the tape on there, I took a picture of the Indian script so I would know, where these the breaks and turns happen. So my thought is to get the grooves in there before I cut, because I don't want to accidentally go too far on one of them and cut a piece off that I'm not supposed to. Alright, I've got the eye working through a little lens here. You can see I've got the eye very well outlined now. So my plan at this point is to use an X-Acto knife and cut out all but the eye itself. Alright, very painstakingly cut and peeled back the layers there, so you can see I have the eye isolated. Alright, everything is taped off. I used a little sanding pen to scuff it up a bit where the letters are, and now I'm going to try spraying some primer on it. Probably going to do several coats of that, or at least a couple coats of that, over some time to give it time to dry, and then I'll gradually start applying some paint. Alright, so I've got a couple coats of primer on there, and even though I've got the factory touch-up paint that I might try to use, I'd prefer to spray on versus trying to paint on and possibly have some pooling underneath the tape. I'd like the idea of being able to spray on in nice thin coats and let it build up. I have some paint that I'm testing here. That's just some basic Rust-Oleum that I think is pretty close to the color of my bike. I went ahead and painted a paint stick with some primer and some paint. Gonna let that dry and then kind of compare it. I think if it's close enough, it doesn't have to be a perfect match because it's not right next to any paint on the bike. So gonna see how that goes. See what that looks like once it dries. Alrighty, paint has dried overnight. I shall now peel it off and we will have the moment of truth. Will it look great or will it look like shit? I'm giving it about 50-50 at this point. I may be heading up and getting the high flow air cleaner this afternoon. Anyway, let's see how this thing goes. So you can see here, I've got to kind of get under, peel those up, and I can get tweezers in there. pull those off like that. Alright, so here's the end result. I'm actually pretty happy with it. I think it needs a little bit of waxing to get some of the bumps down. I touched up the one spot where the end got peeled off a little bit. I should have been a little more careful with that initial peel. But the rest of it came off really good. I think using the X-Acto knife to recut those edges as I peeled off some of those pieces helped out. If you get up really super close, it's not great. I'm hoping to be able to buff down some of the roughness, but as far as just standing back and looking at it, it's not bad. I kind of like it. So, not too bad. I'll get a picture of it once I get it on the bike. Alright, mod complete. Actually, I think it looks quite nice. You can't tell it's not a perfect match to the paint. It looks close enough when it's far away. I'm going to let it probably cure for a good few days, and I'm going to try to put some clear coat on it just to protect it, and then I'll put some liquid glass on top of it. But overall, I'm pleased. Definitely looks better than that 111.